Hello everyone and welcome to Spoiler Warning. Our top stories today, an update on the return plans for Cody Rhodes going through January and towards WrestleMania, Triple H's intentions as regards Sasha Banks, the opinions of Nick Khan and Stephanie McMahon as regards the recent reports of Vince McMahon returning, a little update on who comes the money, you know who comes the money, he comes the money, a little bit about the plans for the channel going forwards, Brock Lesnar on his way back and the intentions for the Intercontinental Championship, particularly with Gunther, and the plans over the next few weeks. Welcome everyone to Spoiler Warning. My name is Tom Colohue. Welcome to the festive one that we've got here, and please do be aware we are currently putting through, it needs to be confirmed, an emoji of a table. Of a table, so that whenever anything happens that involves the table, you guys can make your own table and make your own mind up. Move a table. Welcome everyone. Just in check, first one to say hi, says so ready for Cody to chase Dusty's dream, culminating in a WrestleMania Night 2 win over Roman to win the WWE title. Night 1, Sami and KO win the tag titles, then you can run both matches back at Backlash. John Gillis is talking about a Zero News report, says thank you for these videos. Merry Christmas to you and your family. Welcome, John. Thank you. Simon says, any new Sasha news updates concerning her new WWE deal? I have something on Triple H's intentions for Sasha Banks coming soon. Kervin says, hey Tom. Hey Kervin. Brad says, good day everyone. Hey Brad, how you doing? Good day to you too. Ross says, evening all. Hope you all had a good weekend, and I hope the same, because to be fair, a good weekend should be had by all. Simon says, AJ versus Gunther dream match for the IC title championship happened twice at the weekend live events, house shows. AJ won by DQ. Kevin says, I was surprised WWE announced Becky versus Bayley tonight. Me too. Does suggest that it will be Becky versus Ronda Rousey at WrestleMania, but it really depends how the match finishes. After all, this may be just to wet the whistle and see whether the crowd are really into the concept. If they are, I still think that's the match that happens personally. FDR says, good day, Tom. Hello, everyone. Hello, FDR. How are you? Richard says, hello, everyone. Hope your evening is doing good. Welcome. Venom says, hi, Tom. Hello there. We have Omega in the Twitch side, just shouting the words, Tom Colohue. Spider-Boss says, hello, Tom. Funny how Meltzer changed his version of the Sasha Banks news. Now Meltzer says Sasha could return to WWE. I've not seen that. Please catch me up there, Spider-Boss. Spider-Boss also says, looking at the SmackDown Women's Division, I wonder why Triple H always does a six-pack challenge to find Ronda's new rival. He's trying to get as many women on TV at one time as possible to try and get them over as best he can. Aled says, hey Tom. Hey Aled, how are you? Spider-Boss says, what was the point of having Xia Li costing the match to Liv and Tegan Nox? I thought it was Indy Hartwell who helped Damage Control. We are going to find out shortly. After all, Xia Li will likely be on Raw tonight, celebrating with Damage Control. Venom, no idea. Spider-Boss says, the best in the world, Shane McMahon. Well, we all know he's the best in the world. I agree with that. Sean says, love the Christmas jumper, Tom. Looking stylish. Thank you kindly, Sean. We have gone a little bit more Christmassy. Thank you, Sai, for this Gordian ridiculous overlay that you presented me with, and I could not miss the opportunity to use it. I have gone Christmas jumper. Lower half, I'm still a panda, but top half, I am Christmas jumper, because after all, it's time to be festive. It is apparently the most wonderful time of the year. And if it is for you the most wonderful time of the year, and even if it's not, remember to click that thumbs up. It makes a massive difference. I really would appreciate it. Allied says, I don't want Cody versus Seth at Mania. More on that shortly. Randall, welcome, says, Tom, word on the street is Demon Balor returning at Royal Rumble. Finn Balor without the demon paint still managed to beat Edge pretty handily, so why would we? Sai says, hi Tom and all, hope everyone's warm, safe and healthy. The weather did in fact get a little bit warmer recently, wonderfully. Omega shouts, Tegan Nox. Of course. Peter says, evening Tom, hope you're well. Got you on my 55-incher and may even turn my telly on. That's a horrible, horrible thing that you've just said, but also well played. That was actually pretty well put together, can't deny it. Spider-Boss congratulates Leo Messi, completely forgetting the fact that there's a whole other load of people who played that game for him. Venom says, is there any truth to this talk of Sasha being Paige's mystery partner? There's about 15 different questions and different possibilities involved before we get to that point. To my knowledge, they announce mysteries like this AEW before they actually decide who it's going to be. Richard Smith says, Tom, I saw on Twitter that Triple H has plans to bring back the NXT Champion and Women's Champions titles and getting rid of the NXT 2.0 title designs. We keep hearing about new and different championships, and we keep not seeing any. So, really hard to actually keep track of this particular one. Venom is once again asking for a Raw watch along. Marcel says hi, Tom. Hello, Marcel. Dad says, big up, Tom. Any news on a title match soon? And what's next for Bobby Lashley? What do you mean by a title match? Because there are many, many different titles. If you mean the Royal Rumble, Kevin Owens is still very much in the driver's seat, though I do feel there are other potential contenders. Sheamus is not out of the woods just yet, but certainly he's getting there pretty quickly. Stuart says, evening, Tom. Evening, Stuart. How are you? Spiderboss says, a few years ago, Cena and Kevin Owens were enemies. Now they'll team up to take on Roman and Sami. You say a few years ago. Was it not 7, 8 years? That's a while, mate. Joey says, hey, Tom. Was wondering, have you heard of any surprise names being discussed for the Rumble? Yes. Too many, most of which I don't believe. Joey says, Friday night, top dollar funny botch. He did botch. It was a shame. He has said himself that his leg gave out on him along the way. He did try and prove that he was able to do it, and I believed him already. So, kind of overproved that point. But credit to him, I do think we'll see that move again and see it much better. Potentially even on next week's SmackDown. Peter says, did I see a grin or a grimace then, Sir Tom? I do my thing, Peter. And you know the feeling that you create with jokes like that. Marcel says, watching the darts and listening to you, a good night. Yeah, that's absolutely, you can watch this show and have it podcast style, so you could just listen to it. Thank you very much, Ray On. He's turned the Ray on. He is raying us right now. Ray On has subscribed on the YouTube side. Thank you kindly. We are currently, as regards to YouTube, on, let's get the exact number, because I like the exact number on my stats. 1,912 subscribers, so please consider hitting that subscribe button if you can. We're very close to 2,000. We're not going to hit it before the end of the year. After all, it's 12 days to hit like 88 subscribers. It's not going to happen, but wouldn't it be lovely? Wouldn't it be nice? Daz says, US title, I mean Tom. Yes, there will be US championship matches coming. Seth Rollins is not quite out of the picture yet, and Bobby Lashley's got to be at least involved in a championship for Brock to steal it from him. Spiderboss says, could we see Becky versus Bayley end in DQ? Seems most likely. Sean says, Booker T says Mandy's release was a corporate thing, doesn't want other promotions using her. It was a corporate thing. Someone in corporate decided to fire her. That works. Spiderboss says, it surprised me that Hit Row won the #1 contenders match on SmackDown. Why? They were the only faces in the match. Dom says, hello, Tom. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up. Oh, we got 2 words for you. Like him. Bit forceful, mate. Bit forceful. Welcome to the show. Jordan Darlow says, evening, Tom. Welcome, Jordan. How you doing? John says, do you expect to see the OC in Japan for Wrestle Kingdom? Yeah. By which I mean Carl Anderson. Beyond that, we'll see. But I expect we're going to see at least the OC represented. Will says, I showed my sister your page, so surprised how much you get right, but she doesn't understand what other reporters get mad at you for doing your job. Yeah, we are where we are. We are where we are on that one. I don't much get it either, but hey, some people just really are on a mission. Joey says, are they doing Balor and Edge at the Rumble in a Hell in a Cell? That's been rumoured. Unconfirmed rumours at this point in time. Because first it was, they're going to be Hell in a Cell. Now it's demons involved. There's just a lot going on here, and there's only so much I can take from Zero News. I also found it very interesting that Wrestling News Co. seem to be reporting everything that Zero News says, but people seem to be saying, Wrestling News Co. have reported. Which is just very confusing in every possible way. No, Peter, I did not feel oozy. Venom, to my knowledge, that was the case. That doesn't mean that it won't change in time, but I wasn't aware of any talk about Sasha going to AEW, at least yet. To my knowledge, she's focused on Japan. No, Austin, we've not got into the news yet. Omega says, my heart is so warm, seeing Tegan on my screen every week now. Aled says, my girlfriend stole my cookie. Okay, thank you for letting us all know that. Venom says, if we do get Becky versus Ronda, I hope Becky wins. Yeah. Welcome, Carmelina. Spiderboss says, I hope to see Indy Hartwell on the main roster soon. I'm sure you will. Yes, Taekwon, Hit Row. They do indeed be a thing. Noob says, hello, Tom. How are you doing today? Doing very well, thank you, Noob. Welcome to the show. Cam says, hi, Tom. Hello, Cam. Great to see everyone. Kervin says, I can see the Royal Rumble only having 5 matches because Triple H doesn't want every pay-per-view to be too long. He does not, and ultimately the Royal Rumble matches themselves will be about an hour long each. So 5 is a good number, 6 potentially if they want to go a bit longer. I wouldn't be angry at them going a little bit longer. Okay, so we have plenty of news to get through. We are starting with Cody Rhodes and his return plans. We will be talking about Triple H's intentions as regards Sasha Banks going forwards. We're going to discuss the CEOs, that being Stephanie McMahon and Nick Khan, and their opinion as to the recent news of Vince McMahon wanting to return. There'll be a mention of here cometh the money, here cometh the dollar. There will be talk about Brock Lesnar's impending return, plans for Gunther and the Intercontinental Championship going forwards, and also what video you can expect on Wednesday. I did make some changes as to the Vince McMahon video that was coming. In the end, the news I gave was in spoiler warning anyway, so there didn't seem to be much point in just keeping going with it. So I'll let that one go to the byline, and we'll be getting something a little bit different that you may enjoy. Please remember to hit that like button. We have 78 viewers and only the 24 likes. Every thumbs up makes a massive difference, so please remember to hit that thumbs up. Spider-Boss says the women's tag team title match on SmackDown was cool. Yes, it was. Pardon me. Ghost says, ho ho ho, Tom. And chat, hope everyone is feeling jolly today. Hope so. Welcome, Ghost. Randall says, any news for Edge? Only the news I'd already reported. He was planned back in January because he ran out of dates for this, for the year, essentially. Horsey says, Royal Rumble for me has to be long. It's the Rumble. And good evening, the legendary Tom Colohue. Welcome, Horsey. How you doing? Omega says, here comes the coin purse. Cool. Right. Thank you, Spider Boss. I worked very hard on the Vince McMahon video there, and I'm glad people are enjoying it. No news on Charlotte Flair this week. No. Impending return. Will be back in time for the Royal Rumble. I've said that a few times. Nothing much else to say. Cody Rhodes is planned to return next month in time to start building to his Royal Rumble match. He will be involved in the Rumble. He is currently the favourite to win it, and is likely to do so and move on to Roman Reigns at WrestleMania. He is currently the front runner, and he is the first choice from creative to make this happen. Triple H has final sign-off and has not yet signed off on this concept. There are rumours that he will be coming for Seth Rollins rather than Roman Reigns. If you remember, the night Cody actually left the WWE because of his injury, I did say he will be winning the Rumble and probably taking the championship from Seth Rollins. That was the plan. However, upon the change being made of Vince McMahon leaving and Triple H taking over, the plan was then to move the draft, keep the championships together, and it does mean that if Cody wants a championship, he'll have to go through Roman. Seth Rollins, meanwhile, has turned face, so keeping him away from Cody Rhodes is imperative. If the match does happen, it will be a grudge match at the Elimination Chamber, or at least the February pay-per-view, and it will end in a mutual showing of respect, likely a handshake, from both men. Once, of course, that happens, Cody would then be moving on towards Roman. My suspicion is that Cody Rhodes will win the Royal Rumble. Seth Rollins will challenge him for the right to go to WrestleMania, lose the match, and that's how we'll get to Roman Reigns. There is a report going out at the moment that Cody Rhodes will be back basically immediately in the new year. He is training as we speak. He is back in action, though he hasn't wrestled as of yet. He has not been formally cleared, but there is every indication that he will be cleared shortly. So I wouldn't expect that to be more than a formality at this point. He has been assessed by WWE doctors. They are confident he is ready, and so the trigger is likely to be pulled. He has also been doing some rehearsals with Seth Rollins, which is why the news has got out that maybe the two will be facing off against each other. Seth, by the way, Venom, is slowly turning face, but he is turning face regardless. Aled says, Sasha tweeted out earlier the word woo in the comments, went crazy over it. Yeah, she's a troll. Venom says, what about Randy Orton return? No idea. Said this a few times. I can't set a date, neither can he. So there's no answer to that question. Spider-Boss says, is Mexico the place for wrestling training for half of the four horsewomen? First Sasha, now Charlotte. The people they work with in the style they want to wrestle, that matches up very, very well there. Monique says, hi Tom. Hello Monique. Hector says, it's crazy to think that Cody was injured in June and we're essentially a month or so away from his return. Time really does fly by fast. We did mention it immediately at Hell in a Cell. Cody Rhodes immediately became the favourite to win the Royal Rumble, primarily because, if you recall, he was going to win the Money in the Bank briefcase. Cody Rhodes was going to be a champion within his first year in the company, and there is still a possibility they do that if it happens at WrestleMania. Peter Robert, welcome. Says, hi Tom Colohue, will you watch New Japan Wrestle Kingdom 17 on January 4th, 2023? Yeah, I like Wrestle Kingdom. I like New Japan in general. Any show which has Toru Yano on it, I'm going to watch it. Then, of course, Murder Grandpa, and so on and so forth. There are so many people I just really enjoy watching in New Japan, so I'll definitely be watching Wrestle Kingdom, yes. Cam says, any females have been called for the Royal Rumble? Some women have been contacted, if that's what you're asking. Billy, Chelsea, Mickey have been teased. Who teased them, Cam? Always a good question. Now, as regards Billy Kay, I spoke about this a while back. The Iconics were contacted pretty much immediately after Triple H took over, but of course, Peyton Royce is currently pregnant, so she was not going to be returning. Billy Kay, to my knowledge, did not want to return without Peyton Royce. That said, at this point, there has been a little while longer, discussions have been ongoing, I wouldn't be surprised to see her make an appearance. Chelsea Green, we get asked about every single time we have a show. Everyone is asking about Chelsea Green. Mickie James, I find unlikely at this point. What's the benefit of it? Alyssa is commenting on the rumours of Seth Rollins versus Cody. Sean says, does The Rock wrestle at Mania? To my knowledge, at this point in time, The Rock is not booked for a match at WrestleMania. Nothing's changed. Spider-Boss says, Sasha and Becky are the best in trolling fans. Mostly. You have to mention Cena there. Simon says, any chance Liv appears on Raw tonight to confront Damage Control and Xia for revenge for scoring Liv Knox on SmackDown? Unlikely, because if she does that, they're going to kind of have her going back and forth, and it's not really going to help the SmackDown division. Sean says, Fightful reported Kevin Owens was originally in the script for SmackDown this week, but wouldn't make the show due to what WWE is calling a nightmare travel situation and had to be written out. Owens was also supposed to be a part of the SmackDown on December 23rd, but adjustments were made due to his absence. I can confirm that this is absolutely 100% accurate. I did mention during the watch party that Kevin Owens was someone that they wanted there at the time. He was scripted to be there, but to my knowledge he hadn't made it at that point in time. So they did in fact rewrite the whole thing. Icon DA says, who is Uncle Howdy? Uncle Howdy was originally Bray Wyatt. There's a number of people who could be behind the mask at this point in time. It is most likely not someone that we've seen as of yet. Bo Dallas certainly, I think, fits the bill at the moment. Alex Perry says, is Minoru Suzuki being considered for the Rumble? I find that incredibly unlikely. Anyone who is being considered to be sort of traded via New Japan because of the Carl Anderson deal, it would be a relatively big name, but not too huge a name. I think it's more likely to be someone like Tanahashi. Also says, should they have run with the mystery attack on SmackDown? I think they rushed it, doing it straight away, to be honest. Maybe, who can tell? And Will says, I think you also were the one who told us Cody got hurt before WWE told us. I got the information at roughly the same time it was put out there in the world, and I don't believe I had the first report on it, but we went live shortly afterwards, so I was able to dig into the details a little more. Joey says, do you think Mickie James and Nick Aldis could be surprise entrants in the Rumble? As I say, it's not impossible. I've heard a lot of different names. I don't believe all of them. And as it's the Royal Rumble, Venom says, we need Roman to finally be able to beat Seth. Yeah. I did always like the rock, paper, scissors of the Shield, in that Seth would always beat Roman, Roman would always beat Dean, and Dean would always beat Seth. Rock, paper, scissors. It was nice. Cam says, is Xia Li going to be a part of Damage Control? It looks like at the moment there will be an affiliation. I don't know if she'll necessarily be a full-time member. I'm sure we'll find out soon. Alex says, is there any news on if Stone Cold is going to have a match at Mania? That went real cold, real fast. To my knowledge, not currently booked, but Triple H is still writing the WrestleMania card and contacting the people that he wants there. Alyssa, I have no idea when or if Randy Orton will return. Carmelina says, do you think that tonight Sami and Kevin and Solo will be on Raw? Probably yes. They are continuing to build up Solo Sikoa, and after all, Sami Zayn is Sami Zayn and will be making as many appearances as he possibly can because he just makes every second in wrestling better. Venom says, be nice if Roman was on Raw, but as a bet as anything, it won't happen. It won't. Horsey says, any news on Bray's plans for Mania? His entrance will be fire. I know he's going to be on the WrestleMania card, but I don't know if he's going to be wrestling. I don't know what he's going to be doing. It's very, very difficult at the moment to get anything as regards Bray Wyatt. I know I was able to report that he had signed before anyone else did, but I'm also the only one so far, by the way, to report his element of creative control. And when you look at what's happening with his storyline right now, you can really see that. Joey, I'm not sure who was under the Uncle Howdy mask. I do not have the name. I believed it was Bo Dallas at the time, but it could have been a stand-in. Spider-Boss says, after SmackDown, I think Ronda and Shayna are the only tag team left to challenge Damage Control. You say that, but there's still plenty of time for new tag teams to be formed. After all, Liv and Tegan Nox did get a little bit screwed. Peter Roberts says, New Japan World site is buffering and freezes a lot. I've not personally encountered that. I've had a good time with it. Peter Englefield says, do you think KO will change his wrestling style due to his injuries? No. Not at all. Pardon me. Icon says, will Alexa versus Bianca and Ronda versus Raquel both be at the Rumble pay-per-view? I'm not sure as regards the first. The latter, however, will be at the Royal Rumble. Simon says, is Alexa Bliss face or heel in her feud with Bianca? She's a face right now. She is still a face. Hector says, Tom, any merch update? We need that everything is on the table shirt. It's become a patented Colohue quote. No real update. I've been experimenting with a few different options and a few different designs, trying to get to grips with the whole thing. But as I say, if people have the interest in it, we'll get something out there. At the moment, we're looking at the spoiler warning logo, and yeah, I feel we're at the point now where it has to be everything is on the table, and then just a picture of a table. We'll have to work out the branding for that, but that seems to be the obvious choice. 23 Fresh says, is Omega going to be a free agent soon? No. JJ says, hey Tom, will Becky versus Bayley end in DQ? Been asked that already twice. I find that likely, but I don't know what the match finishes are going to be. Monique says, could we get Bray and Lexi versus Scarlett and Cross at Mania or in the future? Everything is on the table. At some point or in the future is a very, very, very long time. I cannot sit here and say, yeah, that is maybe one day going to happen. Or I can't sit here and say, that is never going to happen. 10 years from now, I know for a fact it's not going to happen. I can't say that because that would be completely untrue. Ghost says, based on my own calculations, excluding champions, injuries, managers, and those on a break, such as Charlotte, Zelina, Scarlett, Aaliyah, and Doudrop, the Women's Royal Rumble currently has 20 entrants. I would expect Charlotte, Zelina, and Aaliyah, possibly Doudrop as well, to all be involved in the match. Alex Perez says, is a pitch dark match between LA Knight and Bray discussed at the Rumble? Once again, I've seen unconfirmed reports about this, but I've not heard anything about it personally. Also, I'm still not sure what a pitch black match actually is. Alan Thomas says, has Eric Young signed his WWE contract yet? If he's back, to my knowledge, no, he is not. 23 says, how about Foley at the Rumble? What would Foley do at the Rumble? Commentary? Also says, Bray versus Cross could be outstanding if done properly, but that's a huge if. It really is. And ultimately, the person writing the feud will be Bray. So I'm worrying at this point about Karrion Kross. I'm already concerned about what the future actually has in store for him. I don't think it's going to be helping him for that. Sean says, WWE could do Alexa versus Bianca for the title on the last Raw of 2022. Yes, they could. They need a big match and they don't have John Cena involved. Sparabel says, do you think Liv Morgan needs to change her wrestling style? Nope. Sean says, NXT will be taped the next 2 weeks. Interesting. I'm wondering what they're going to do with that. Barry says, jingle spoiler bells, everyone. Whatever that means. You and your bells, Barry. You and your bells. Toxic Predator. There's a name I haven't seen in a while. Welcome to the YouTube side and thank you for subscribing. Joey says, are they going to do Braun versus Gunter at the Rumble or will it be on SmackDown? More on that shortly. Ross says, I can't see an obvious direction for Bray at the moment, especially if he faces Knight at the Rumble and not in the Rumble match. He could do both and attack someone there. He could, but I think the not obvious choice is the choice that's going to happen. Alex says, a Hell in a Cell between Edge and Balor at Rumble. That's been reported in unconfirmed reports, yes. Barry says, a pitch black match might be like listening to boxing on the radio. You can't do a pitch black match and not have Aleister Black, surely. It just feels weird. Spider-Boss says, last Friday, Naomi's friend denied Meltzer's news about Naomi on Twitter. Yeah, there's a reason for that. Also, he's suggesting people smash like. We do have 89 viewers and only the 28 likes. If you've not yet done so, please remember to hit that thumbs up. It does ensure greater advertising for the stream, and greater advertising for the stream means more subscribers. It means I get closer and closer and closer to doing this full time, which I know quite a few people here are excited about the concept of. So please, if you'd like to see this if you'd like to see more spoiler warning, Raw watch parties, and plenty more videos, be sure to hit like and chat away. Oh, thank you, Richard. Clarifying that NXT was for the next 2 weeks, have been taped, was taped last Wednesday. Simon says Killer Cross and Scarlett are losing to Emma and Madcap Moss on house show live events in mixed tag team matches. Yeah, but no, there is no but. Code says apparently there's no Raw next week scheduled, but 2 house shows, so apparently there'll be a best of episode. I wouldn't hate it. I wouldn't watch it, but I wouldn't hate it. Alex says, what Forbidden Door talent for Rumble? You got a big shout on you there, Alex. Big shout. Depends what you mean. The Forbidden Door is AEW branding, not WWE branding, so there is no Forbidden Door to talk about. Noob says it seems like Alexa has recently posted her recent tweet on Twitter. She's fed up, I don't know what she's upset about, but it seems like she's still developing her character through Twitter. Yeah, she's good at that. She's good at that and continues to do so. Mick Henno says, thumbs up, welcome Mick, and thank you kindly. Spider-Boss says, who do you see as the one to beat Bron Breakker? Hard to tell at this point. Hard to tell. They're building a variety of people, and I can't really sit here and say one person, much like I was able to say one person with Roxanne Perez, for example. That was very clear. Ghost says, I believe that the Women's Royal Rumble is much more likely to have a large amount of surprises, as there is a major surplus of male talent that could be used in the Men's Royal Rumble match, plus expected returns like Cody and possibly Riddle. Very true and very, very worth considering there. There are definitely more women now than there were, and they can certainly fill a Royal Rumble much stronger than they used to be able to, but they will still need people involved. Rob's just throws up some devil horns. Welcome, Robs. Harry says, hi, Tom. Hey, Harry, how you doing? Alex says, WWE like Kairi or Minoru Suzuki or maybe Matt Cardona. I've already reported about Kairi Sane and the discussions in place there. It then started popping up elsewhere, which I feel is a bit of confirmation. Beyond that, I'm not sure. Alex, do you want to turn off your caps lock, mate? Hector says, say what you will about Booker T, but his reaction to Roxanne winning, regardless of the Mandy stuff, was genuine and heartwarming. It was a nice side story. To be fair, he didn't know what was going on with Mandy at the time, to my knowledge. Simon says, it's a pitch black match, perhaps like a WWW version, AEW's Lights Out match, like Britt versus Thunder Rosa did in the past. I don't know. I have no idea what this match type could be, if this match type even exists. Alex is asking about a 40-man Royal Rumble. Again, unconfirmed reports from the same place that has unconfirmed all the rest of the reports that there's definitely going to be a 40-man Royal Rumble. If they do that, they're adding an extra half hour onto the show and onto the Royal Rumble. If they do 40, you need to go 2 nights, and I think they would have already reported that. Spider-Boss says, of all the possible returns for the Royal Rumble 2023, the Women's Royal Rumble match looks interesting. Hopefully it looks interesting regardless, let's be fair. Harry says, who do you think beats the Usos for the Tag Team Championships? Said it for a while now, Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens. I was the first to report about Kevin Owens turning face when he returned on Monday Night Raw, I believe in September, after Triple H had taken over. I had already reported that there was going to be a Tag Team Championship match with Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens challenging the Usos. Simon says, I've never seen a pro wrestler like Alexa have as many problems with airlines. Alexa always moaning about them on Twitter. Yeah, they do crap. Tommy B, welcome, says, didn't WWE do a 40-man Rumble once before? Yes, I believe it was the one Del Rio won. It was not good. Sean says, Maki Ito was asked if she has gotten offers from WWE and said no. If she got any, she would deny them, stand beside AEW because AEW made her popular. That would be a very populist thing to say. Richard Smith says, 40-man Rumble, let's hope not. Last time they did it, it was extremely boring and very long. I wholeheartedly agree. And Spider-Boss says, it will be fun when the bloodline breaks up with Sami Zayn. If, you never know, they may go as a distance. I'm rooting for you kids. Ross says, a pitch black match sounds terrible. A blindfold match, the worst match type I've seen, completely pointless. I don't see that happening. I just don't see that happening. Next piece of news is as regards Triple H's intentions towards Sasha Banks, and it's a really, really simple report I've got here. Triple H is not planning to give up when it comes to potential contract negotiations for Sasha Banks. He has been pitching new deals for her for months now, and so far there has not been a bite from the Sasha Banks side, even though there are favourable moments that have happened. Triple H is still pitching a number of different concepts, and knowing that he is somewhat limited as regards finance, he is instead pitching incentive deals and the like, an increase in the amount you get from merch and so on, and more marketing for the Mercedes brand, as I previously reported. Triple H is not giving up on Sasha Banks. Even after January 1st, he is not planning to give up, even though she does have other dates booked for other companies. I hope you all notice the plural that I did there. Just a subtle little plural. Just nice and subtle. Joey says, is Becky versus Ronda still planned for Mania? I can't imagine Triple H wants to do this match. I'm not sure at this point. There is still a discussion as regards Becky versus Bayley, Becky versus Ronda. Either way, Becky's going to be in a championship match come WrestleMania, it seems. Harry says, do you think Goldberg might come back for one more match? Depends where, because WWE, to my knowledge, not that interested. Sean says, I say maybe Carmelo, Ilya, or Grayson beat Bron Breakker. Number of different possibilities there, then. I have a report as regards the current co-CEOs of WWE, Stephanie McMahon and Nick Khan, and their reaction to the report that came out recently about Vince McMahon wanting back into the company. Stephanie McMahon and Nick Khan have no interest whatsoever in a return to the company for Vince McMahon, and as co-CEOs, they do have some say as regards the hiring and firing of people. Now, Vince does still have some power as the majority shareholder. However, day-to-day operational running of the company has nothing to do with him, and that is not going to change. Vince McMahon is not wanted back in the WWE, specifically by co-CEOs Stephanie McMahon and Nick Khan. Ghost says if there were a 40-man Rumble, then it would be expected for them to do the same for the ladies. At this point, it sounds like a train wreck in the making, especially considering the size/availability of the women's division, so 30 people should be just fine. I agree. My concern here is that you always have, around this time, conversations of, oh, well, they just need to get people on the WrestleMania card. My worry is that's what it would be as a Royal Rumble. Oh, well, they just need to give everyone a payday. But that's not how they're paying people anymore. They're mostly paying people the flat rate guaranteed downside rather than the bonus, which was a Vince McMahon thing from back in the territory days. So there's a lot less of that from Vince because Vince isn't there anymore. Triple H prefers to pay a flat rate. As regards the Royal Rumble then, I personally would be keeping it to 30. However, Triple H likes to have a lot of people involved and likes to have big multi-man matches. That said, of course, Triple H likes to have smaller pay-per-views, so it's really hard to work this one out. Spider-Boss says, I hope Triple H will convince Sasha to return to WWE. I think Sasha will return. Harry says, who do you think will beat Roman Reigns for the Universal and WWE Championships? Hard to say. At this point, I still think Cody Rhodes for the WWE Championship, but I think the Universal Championship won't be won at least until the middle of next year, so it's hard to say now who it's likely to be. I'd be looking at a Bron Breakker. I'd be looking at a Gunter. I'd really like that. Alan says, Vince in the Hall of Fame, what is what I think. Justin says, any word on Hall of Fame inductees? No names as of yet. I've got nothing to report on that one, unfortunately. But we will start to hear those names once January rolls in. Richard says, I feel like Carmelo Hayes should be the one to end Braun's reign. Has to be a star of 2.0 and rebranding back to NXT along with Mandy. And Nelson Romano, welcome, says, I hope Sasha isn't Soraya's partner. Certainly not the most popular of thoughts there, Nelson. It seems like a lot of people do want Sasha Banks to be Soraya's partner, but I worry as to how Sasha would be used in an AEW women's division that is still struggling. Also, to be fair, Sasha Banks not the most confident on the mic at times, and if she's writing her own promos, I'm not sure how well she would do in that environment. To my opinion, Sasha Banks does benefit from having a hand to guide her. Spider-Boss says, Roman Reigns reached 3 full years without being pinned, which is a great thing for Baron Corbin. And Will says, I'm guessing Triple H must feel the same when it comes to Vince wanting to come back. I don't have word as regards Vince. As regards Triple H, just as regards co-CEOs at this point. Richard says, wouldn't there be a 90-day non-compete if Sasha leaves WWE? Depends on whether or not there is one in her contract, when she officially got her release, because it's the interesting thing for me is if she did get a release in summer, as has been mentioned by Raj Giri back in June, she would have been contractually obliged, she would have contractually been entitled to a 3-month, 90-day non-compete. So where's she been for the last 6 months? Harry says, do you think WWE will show a 2K23 trailer at the Royal Rumble? Yes, I do. I very much do on that one. Lil Fettuccini says, is Vince really coming back? Not to my knowledge, no. As I've just mentioned, the co-CEOs don't want him and they do still have some power in that regard. Ghost says, if there is an announcement of any changes to the Royal Rumble match, I would expect it to happen around the first week of 2023, as this was the time that they announced the surprise entrance for the Women's Royal Rumble this past January. Also, I genuinely hope they do not reveal surprise entrants prior to the event anymore. The issue wasn't necessarily WWE releasing information as to who was going to be there. The information was released by other wrestling journalists, and then WWE had to release that information then to get ahead of the curve. Justin says, curious how AEW announces mystery partners and then tries to figure out who, seems haphazard and not long-term booking. That is the case for a lot of different things that they've done. A lot of different things. Harry says, any news on Naomi returning soon? Negotiations are going pretty well when it comes to Naomi. She has been spotted backstage on a number of occasions, though she may just be visiting her husband and her family. As regards the deal on the table, it is said to be a favourable one, though nowhere near the level of Sasha Banks. Spider-Boss says, people need to give credit to Corbin, the last guy who defeated Roman, considering Brock and Kevin Owens couldn't beat Roman. A lot of people couldn't beat Roman. A lot of people. Kevin says, let's be honest, Sasha Banks really needs WWE. She's done everything. I want Sasha to make movies and go to different wrestling companies. Do you mean really doesn't need WWE then? Venom says, do you think Sasha could be in the Rumble? And Lil Fettuccini says, your thoughts on Cena and KO versus Sami and Roman? It has not happened yet. Once it does, I'll be able to give you a formal opinion. Sean says, Seth still beat Roman at the Royal Rumble. Did he beat him or did he just not lose? I think it's a very fair question. Are we live with that? We are not live with the table as of yet. They do have to confirm the emotes. The code for it is :Hue, H-U-E, table, T-A-B-L-E. So when it does go live, it'll pop up. And hopefully you guys will be able to put tables whenever there's anything on the table. Cam says, NXT Key and James have been doing quite a few main event matches. Is that a good sign? Especially facing Dana Brooke and Asuka. Yes, that is a brilliant sign. Alex says, I'm surprised Roman is wrestling SmackDown, seeing apparently he didn't have any more dates this year. Yeah, well, that's how it usually goes. Either the dates were calculated a little bit wrong, or maybe he took a few from next year. I was expecting a longer break. He did come back early. He was asked to come back. Spider-Boss says, I think if Naomi returns first to WWE, fans would chant Sasha's name once Naomi appears. Yeah, they will, because fans suck. Lil Fettuccine says, when is Brock coming back? More on that shortly. Harry says, do you think... I have no idea who that is, Harry. Richard says, the problem with Naomi is when she does return, all we'll get is we want Sasha, and sadly the walkout has ruined her. Kind of. Hector says, I apologise for not knowing who reported it. I appreciate if you don't have a source, you can say, I don't know. You have to accept the situation as it goes there. But I appreciate that, Hector. But I saw that Cody was on hand for the WWE 2023 commercial shooting. That may be going all in on Cody for 2023, which is a great thing in my opinion. I would be very surprised if he does not appear on that game cover. Sean says, do you think Roman gets a lengthy break after losing the belts? Yeah. I think after losing the belts, he may be starting his retirement plan. Justin says, do you see any NXT stars in the Rumble? Yes. And Simon says, I hope Sasha bites on Triple H's new deal of merchandise incentives and promoting the Mercedes brand worldwide. Oh, gotcha, Harry. I didn't know he was anywhere. I have no idea. I don't know personally on that one. DC says, good evening, Tom from Washington, DC. Hope all is well with you and your family. Recently seen a picture of Piper Niven. She was in excellent shape. When will she be back on WWE TV? I expect she'll be at the Rumble. Thank you, Ghost, for the clarification. Ghost says, I believe that report came from PWInsider, if I'm not mistaken. I always appreciate that we'll help each other out with these things. Thank you, Ghost. Alyssa says, did you see Jay's short video making fun of the neck tattoo? Yeah, The neck tattoo's crap, I get it. Tommy says, I hope they have Cody's song as well in 2K23. They do indeed. Simon says, a big what if Sasha appears in New Japan, AEW, WWE Women's Royal Rumble all in 1 month. That is history making 3 appearances in 3 different companies in 1 month. It would be doing that. Yes. And Aled says, Cody on the cover of 2K23 would be cool. There is another McMahon who is looking at potentially coming back this month. Shane McMahon, here comes the money, is making overtures with people that he knows backstage in the WWE about potentially returning for this year's Royal Rumble. He has said that he would like to return, appear, and just actually be in the ring, probably be eliminated fairly quickly, but he would like to be involved in some way. There is the potential for Shane to appear at the Royal Rumble, at WrestleMania itself, but he's not pushing his luck on that one. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like anyone's going to bite when it comes to Shane McMahon's return, but he will continue to try and continue to be in contact with a number of different people to try and make this one happen. Barry says, I can see Von Wagner being in the Royal Rumble. They've tried everything else to get him over and failed. Might as well try that. Tommy says, didn't Shane get kicked out during last year's Rumble? Nope, he got kicked out the day after the Royal Rumble, because that's when they found out what was going on backstage. Harry says, do you think we get Undertaker's showcase in 2K23? I have no idea what the showcase is going to be. Go says, here comes the money, and gives us a Shane McMahon emote, which if you do Hugh Shane, there it be. Sean says, I remember you saying WWE was impressed with Kylie Ray. Do you know if a contract was offered to her? I don't know for certain whether a contract was offered, but they were very impressed, and I am expecting that they will be. Spider-Boss says, it's unfair to see USA wrestling media outlets take your wrestling news, Tom. Those wrestling media outlets never give you credit, especially with the Sasha news. That's correct, yes. You've got to remember, quite a few people in the wrestling Twitter sphere and so on have called me a liar about Sasha Banks' news, which shortly afterwards has been proven true. Do they retract their accusation? No. Because it doesn't matter what the truth is. It matters how many people hear the lie. That's all that matters. 23 Fresh says, is there a chance of Shane McMahon winning the Royal Rumble? No. Joey says, has WWE signed Casey Navarro? I don't know on that one. Not something I've heard personally. Harry says, do you think Bad Bunny might return soon? Yes, I'm confident we'll be seeing Bad Bunny in and around WrestleMania this year. He appeared at the Royal Rumble last year. Triple H has already reached out and asked him what he would like to do. I would not be surprised if we get something along the lines of Bad Bunny, Logan Paul, and others. Though Bad Bunny is a member of Judgment Day and Logan Paul is a member of the OC, could also be a lot of fun. Alan says, do you have any updates on the AEW game in terms of release date and if Punk and Cody are going to be in it? No, I have nothing on the... This is very much a show and I unfortunately have to sit here and say I don't have too much today. I don't have anything at all on the AEW game. I know that it is in the... Well, it's very close to finished, but there are a few things being changed. CM Punk is likely to still be in the game, Cody Rhodes not so much. It has, after all, been almost a year since Cody Rhodes left the company. Hector says, what a world we live in where Shane is essentially begging his sister to come back to the WWE. The boy with a golden spoon finally knows the opposite side of the spectrum. I didn't say begging. You said begging. I did not say begging. Cam says, will we get girls like Doudrop, Aaliyah, Carmella, etc. returning in the Rumble? Nope, but we'll get women like those making appearances. Spider-Boss says, I think when Sasha re-signs with WWE, I'm sure PWInsider will try to steal your news about Sasha. From where I'm sitting, and I know you guys are like, I know what you guys are saying, but from where I'm sitting, what actually matters here is that the people who watch these shows get the correct news. That's the most important thing for me. So if PWInsider are out there reporting things and watching this to get it, well, I don't know if they are or not. I find it unlikely personally. Then really, what I'd love to be able to do is work together with different wrestling journalists. But it's been made very clear that I am not part of their elite social circle, so I'm not allowed to be involved in that. It sucks, and I'd love it if we could all just try and work together, but apparently not. I'm not allowed in the Cool Kids Club. Justin says, what's up with Deonna? Any chance of her rejoining WWE? There has been contact. Triple H does want her back. Barry says, if you recall last year, I said Bad Bunny versus Logan Paul will be this year's WrestleMania like a broken clock. I am correct occasionally. I don't think we're going to get Bad Bunny versus Logan Paul because there'd be no ring general in there to help them, but I would not be surprised if there's some sort of mixed tag or so on and so forth. Simon said, if Sasha ends up in AEW 4 dream matches stand out. Okay, there's plenty of different people that I'm sure she'd love to wrestle. Harry says, do you think a big return will happen in the Women's Rumble? Depends what you mean by big. Justin says, any rumbling about a new Mae Young Classic yet? Not as of yet. Triple H does like his specialist tournaments, and there are likely to be tournaments going forwards, but no sign of a Mae Young Classic at this point in time. They're not really focused on a network exclusive content like they used to be. Joey says, any update on the CM Punk contract situation? It seems like it's dead in the water now. He is still waiting for them to offer him more money for a buyout. They are still not budging on the offer that they've made him. Spider-Bell says, 22 years ago, Triple H and Stephanie McMahon said the McMahon-Helmsley era began. Now they run WWE. I mean, they're not wrong. Brad Becker says, and we know the truth that you reported it first. You're the ones I care about. I don't care about the complete strangers who aren't willing to give me a chance. That's the thing. If there are people out there who believe that I've never reported anything, you guys know better because you've been here. It's not really anything I care about trying to convince them or otherwise. I don't care about that. What I care about is providing you with the right news. You with the facts, you with the information. Because you're here. You're the ones who've reached out to me. You're the ones chatting. You're the ones lurking. You're the ones hitting that thumbs up. By the way, we have 38 likes and 87 viewers. Hit that thumbs up again. No, don't do it again. But I'll remind you again to hit that thumbs up. And subscribe if you haven't. Because this is a subscriber-only chat, and we need your questions. Venom says, why would you want to be, Tom? You're only one with legit wrestling news, something they can't do. Don't agree with that at all. I don't agree with that at all. There are plenty of people out there sharing very accurate and factual news. Nobody's perfect. Everybody gets something wrong every now and again. I'm not infallible either, just to be clear on that one. But there are plenty of people out there doing great work, even if maybe, when you think of certain people, they're not great people. Hector says, all right, Tom, with the Rumble coming up, who's been your all-time favourite surprise entrant thus far? For me, it's easy. The 2017 Rumble, which had the perfect 10, enter at 10. I marked out hard for that. Hard to say. Hard to say, because there's a lot of them that don't immediately jump out. There's been very few that made me, go really open mouth, like, wow. Because so much gets spoilt now. So much. For example, I really liked when Nia Jax was involved in the Men's Royal Rumble, because you had that moment where Randy Orton was like, I'm going to do something. Everyone in this arena knows what I'm going to do. But you just wait. You just wait. The suggestion seems to be AJ Styles, and I would absolutely agree with that. I do believe AJ Styles is the best wrestler in the world, and has been for a very long time. And that was just after I started watching again, so it felt fresh and it felt interesting. Sean says, return of King and Queen of the Ring tournament next year, yes. Barry Monkey says, Deonna is the best women's wrestler in the world today. Crap on the mic, sadly, but a great wrestler. There's very few total packages anymore, unfortunately. Spider-Boss said, could we see triple threat matches next time WWE fans Ronda's new rival? Nope, because that's what the Royal Rumble is for. Cam says, will there be an MMC, a mixed match challenge season 3? I miss when the men and women interacted. No, at this point there will not be. The idea was that Facebook Watch would really draw a lot of attention to the WWE, and it completely failed. Harry says, like a legend like Molly Holly or Victoria. We've seen both of them in the Rumble at some point as well. Carmelina says, Tom, I love listening to Spoiler Warning. It's awesome. Thank you, Carmelina. I appreciate that. Aled says, I want The Undertaker to wrestle again. Aled, no, you are not allowed to want that. Simon says, do you see Carmella returning in the Women's Rumble? I have no idea. She has her reasons for not returning thus far, and I am not someone who's going to make any pressure at any point as regards that. Simon says, Seth plans for WrestleMania 39. I don't know at this point in time. I know that there are unconfirmed reports that he'll wrestle Cody Rhodes, but Seth's going face doesn't quite work for me. I find it much more likely Cody will be taking on Roman. Spider-Boss says, come on, watch Spoiler Warning. They show the most accurate wrestling news. Hit like and subscribe. Sean says, speaking of the perfect 10, is he someone that Triple H wants back? To my knowledge, there has been a discussion but it's mostly Tyler Breeze leading that discussion rather than Triple H. So I'm going to go ahead and say not really at this point in time. Spider-Boss says, Randy Orton hitting an RKO on Nia Jax was funny. Yes, it was. Hector says, the issue with the AJ Rumble was the dumb camera work. It took some of the allure away for me personally. I think the main reason for that was that the word phenomenal was appearing on screen, so you knew who it was going to be, and they were trying to cover that a little bit. Either way, they could have done it a lot better. Spider-Boss says, who do you think will win the ladder match, Loomis or Miz? Loomis. Alan says, my favourite Rumble entry ever is AJ Styles' debut. Harry says, do you think a legend returns at the Royal Rumble? Yes. Brad says, Victoria for the Hall of Fame. Simon says, as Thomas Punk is definitely in it. Cody, I'm not sure about. Are you talking to Alid there? Cam says, fun fact, there's only 6 former Divas champions to not have returned, so I'm hoping to see Eve, Layla and Caitlyn as our surprise returns. You're definitely not seeing AJ Lee. Steve, happy birthday, sir. I know it's belated, but I just want to say it on stream. Says, evening, Mr. Colohue. Hope you're doing well. Love the new Xmas themed overlay. I hope everyone has spotted that. Si did good work here. For people who haven't spotted the Christmas overlay, the Christmas jumper, I'm not a red panda right now. We are festive. We are festive and we are loving it. Welcome everyone to festive. Spoiler warning. Alan says, is Triple H interested in being an on-screen character? Nope. Sometimes, there are long questions which have very easy answers. Triple H isn't really interested in front of house anymore. It's not for him. Brock Lesnar is due to return in time for the Royal Rumble, will be in attendance for the Royal Rumble Premium Live event in some capacity. He's unlikely to be formally announced for the Royal Rumble. If he does appear in that, he will be a surprise entrant and will be looking for Bobby Lashley. There is likely to be some altercation, that's the word I was looking for, between Brock Lesnar and Bobby Lashley to set up a match between them early next year. I still personally believe Brock versus Bobby is more likely for WrestleMania than it is Brock versus Gunther. Speaking of Gunther, of course, Gunther is currently wrestling AJ Styles at house shows. This is with a view to wrestling Braun Strowman around Royal Rumble time. Gunther has a number of different high-profile challenges that he will be working with to put him over and to make him as big a star as they possibly can. Vince McMahon was all in on Gunther. Triple H is all in on Gunther. Gunther will be the Intercontinental Champion for a while and will be picking up major scalps. This, by the way, is one of the reasons I don't see Brock Lesnar involved, because I don't think Brock will want to lose and put over Gunther, even though what a match it would be. Imagine that first chop leveling Brock. Imagine the crowd reaction to that. I'd love the match. I don't necessarily think we're going to get it at Mania this year at least. So working with AJ Styles is likely to translate onto TV at some point, but it is just a exhibition match, essentially to keep things ticking over, because they are on different brands and happy to be so at this point in time. After the draft, we are likely to see some movement. I do see Gunther going over to Raw, taking the Intercontinental Championship with him, and Austin Theory going over to SmackDown. I do apologise, I seem to have a little twitch in my eye at the moment. I think I might be tired. Spider-Boss says, my favourite Rumble entrance was Rey Mysterio in 2018. Also says, I know it was yesterday, but happy birthday to Stone Cold Steve Austin. Hector says, Tom, please tell me you, Tiny Arms and the family got holiday photos made wearing matching sweaters. That would be a great idea for a Christmas card. We all have matching onesies. I have the red panda. The family have a number of different animals. So that would be the Christmas card. However, I don't want to step on any toes here. I am, after all, stepdad. Ghost says, according to Dave Meltzer, this is the last live Raw of 2022, as next week seems to be a best of 2022 compilation. This appears to check out, as there are both live events for the Raw and SmackDown rosters that are not scheduled to be televised. Very true, and in fact, as regards Dave Meltzer, he's very practiced at contacting the networks directly. He has sources in the actual TV networks, so that's where he can get information like that. There are certain areas in which Brock Lesnar isn't infallible, and there are certain areas in which in which Dave Meltzer definitely knows his stuff. Sean says, do we get a segment between Alexa and Bianca tonight to continue to build their match? I would expect so, yes. I would expect a contract signing, for example. Steve says, thank you, May. Appreciate the kind birthday wishes. Throwing in favourite Rumble entries. Edge returning 2020 after so many years away was a very special moment. Venom says, why did he appear to break up Bobby and Brock then? I mean, Triple H, that's a very different situation. He can't get physically involved anymore. Not with his heart condition. He's not interested in being out front. He just wants to basically hype up a moment. Sama says, any plans for Liv to use tattoos? All the things she said, Victoria's old theme music anytime soon. Why? Has she made a suggestion of this? Harry says, do you think the Boogeyman might return to WWE soon? No, Triple H was never a guy who really supported it. Simon says, is Goldberg returning to the WWE? Not much interest in having Goldberg come back. If he would, it would be for a very brief time. Venom says, I hate the current design of the IC title. Please tell me they will change it. Of all the different belts that are reportedly going to be changing, that's the one I see being most likely changed. It doesn't really suit Gunter. Ross says, could we see Cody versus Seth on night 1 of WrestleMania with winner facing Roman night 2? Just a bit of fantasy booking. I like where your head's at. I like what's going on there. Personally, I don't think that'll be a WrestleMania match though. I think it'll be Cody versus Seth at Elimination Chamber or whatever the February pay-per-view ends up being. In the hot seat says, anything in the WWE you're looking forward to in 2023, any returns, etc. I'm excited for the return of Cody Rhodes, to be completely honest with you. And I do think Seth Rollins has a championship run in him very, very soon. So I'm excited for that. Plus, there's a number of women's wrestlers that I am looking forward to seeing more work from. I think there's a sustained push coming for Liv Morgan to try and keep her near the top of the card, and a return of Charlotte Flair, of course. Venom says, I can't believe Raw aired on Christmas Day before and they didn't stop even in the pandemic era. Nope, they didn't. Different management now, and it stands out. Kieran says, any update on the 24/7 title turning into a mid-card women's title? Not as of yet. There are belt designs they're considering and, matches they're considering. Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross has, of course, already been mentioned. They are waiting for the right time, much like with Bayley when I first reported her return schedule, that they were waiting for the right storyline and then she returned with Damage Control. They're waiting for the right moment and to create the right thing. My suspicion is it will be a WrestleMania Championship debut. Cam says, I may be the only one, but I still want Cameron to return, but with Naomi gone, I doubt it'll happen. Wanted her to return after the Rumble this year. Spider-Boss says, the MJF news before Double or Nothing. Now Sasha Banks news, Meltzer is nil too. Why do people keep paying attention to Meltzer? What MJF news there, Spider-Boss? Do you mean like the bit about the plane? Because that was not Dave Meltzer and you need to know the difference. Spider-Boss wants the oval design of the IC title to return. Again, I don't think that suits Gunter. Says, I hope that at some point Bayley can finally beat Bianca. One day. Harry says, do you think Big E will return soon? Soon is a relative construct. I think Boogs will return first. Big E not quite fit and firing as of yet. Code says, I've been watching Ronda on the road. Very fond of Raquel, and Raquel versus Ronda early this year was one of Ronda's best matches, bar 4 horsewomen matches, so no surprise she is next. Do you mean the match where Ronda Rousey got beaten up for 10 minutes and then rolled up Raquel and hoped for the best? Isaac says, sorry if it's already been asked, but any idea of rumblings about Sonya with Toxic Attraction? There are a lot of discussions as regards who could pair up with Toxic Attraction. I don't necessarily think Sonya is going to want it. Joey says, have you heard anything on Cameron Grimes' call-up? Nope. When are we going to get new tag titles designed? New tag titles have been designed. It's debuting them. That's the question at the moment. They're still not certain they want to have the combined titles long term, and the rumour that Roman would be gifting them new championships has not come to pass as of yet. We are currently on 1,915 subscribers. If you've not done so yet, please remember to hit subscribe. We are en route to 2,000 subscribers. That was an accent. We are en route to 2,000, still went wrong, subscribers. And the sooner we get there, the better. And the sooner I would be able to go full time. Every little does help. And hopefully next year we'll be aiming for the 5. But for now, we are still aiming for the 2. We are averaging 3 or 4 new subscribers every single day. So my word, this is still doing wonderful things. And I want to thank all of you, even just for being here. If you're lurking in the background, thank you. If you're asking questions, thank you. If you've hit like, thank you. And if you're a subscriber, thank you. I really appreciate your time, your commitment, and just your company. Harry says, do you think Dominic Mysterio will turn face and the Judgment Day break up? Long time in the future, mate. Long time. And Venom says, if KO and Sammy do beat the Usos, how will they separate the tag belts? Who says they will? They've not decided yet. We are an hour in. It has been a blast, but it is 11 p.m. Isaac, the News Ali thing will become apparent very shortly. Huge thank you to everyone for the 43 likes, 270 views, massive average view duration. We will be live again come Friday. On Wednesday, I will be releasing a video basically saying Wrestler of the Year 2022. We're going to do a few end of year awards. Wrestler of the Year will be the first one. I have my list. I will be recording it formally tomorrow, editing it together on Wednesday, and uploading it ready for you guys to enjoy. So, if you've not yet done so, go to the YouTube community page and let me know who you think is the Wrestler of the Year. Until then, huge thanks to all of you. I've been Tom Colohue. You've been fantastic. I'll see you all very soon.